Good afternoon, everyone. Hello and welcome. My name's Zach Munn and I'm very pleased to be chairing this debate session with my colleague Britta here on the role of AI in evidence synthesis. How are we feeling, Britta?
Cool and nice, and this is going to be fun. I've noticed a lot of AI on the program. I know you heard a lot of talks about AI, so I hope you're ready to get into it now. And there has been trash talk going on. I'm just saying, we will be in the middle if it gets physical, but...
Yes, I can see there might be a bit of we'll need to keep them separate on the boat trip. We don't want anyone falling overboard or getting pushed overboard after this debate with the way these two teams are talking to each other. Well, it's certainly not clear-cut whether or not we should be using AI in evidence synthesis, and that is what we're going to be discussing today. Now, Britta and myself, we have some affiliations with a lot of different groups, but we don't have any conflicts of interest in relation to this presentation. So, the motion that we are going to be discussing today is whether or not AI should replace humans in evidence synthesis. And we have the affirmative team here to my right, and we have the opposing team over here. But before we get into introductions, I think, Britta, you wanted to ask a question of the crowd.
True. So I would like, by old school raise of hands, who's on the affirmative team? Who thinks that AI can replace us in evidence synthesis? Show of hands. Don't be shy.
Oh, yeah. Not me.
Easy job for you there, Zach.
There's 20.
There's 20, good. And who's opposed? Who doesn't think AI can replace?
Oh.
That's more than 20.
That's definitely more than 20. All right, so it looks like the affirmative team, you are up against it today, but they are an excellent team. It's my pleasure to introduce them now. So the people who will be arguing for AI to replace humans in evidence synthesis are Amir, Qaseem, John Shia, and Artur Nowak. Now let me just introduce these people one by one because we want to do a good introduction so you can see what a high quality panel we have. But then when we get into the debate, we want to keep the flow. So we'll go through the introductions now, and it's my absolute pleasure, firstly, to introduce the first speaker for the affirmative team, Dr. Amir Qaseem. Now, Amir is a physician, a health economist, a methodologist, a clinical epidemiologist, and a world leader in evidence-based healthcare. Now, Amir has had many years of experience. That includes working on different types of boards and committees. This includes the European Commission, the World Health Organization, Cochrane, the Grade Working Group, and he's also the past chair of the Guidelines International Network, GIN, and one of the inaugural recipients of the Mastership of GIN as well. So congratulations, Amir. He also heads the American College of Physicians Evidence-Based Medicine Program, the Center for Evidence Reviews and Clinical Guidelines, which is the oldest program in the United States. But you're not that old, as you continually tell me. He's very young, despite all of his incredible career accolades. He's also a founding member of the Cochrane US Network and a member of the Executive Committee, and he did tell me that he does not like losing. So we're looking forward to hearing from Amir. Please welcome Amir. Okay. And next we have Dr. John Shah. John is an evidence-based healthcare researcher focused on improving healthcare standards in resource-limited settings through knowledge transfer. She's also the director of the Nottingham Ningbo Grade Centre and is a founding member of the China Clinical Practice Guideline Alliance, or Guidance for short. And since 2005, June has contributed as a reviewer and editor for the Cochrane Collaboration, and she promotes evidence-based practice globally. Her work spans continents and cultures, emphasising clinical guideline and clinical guideline development and evidence implementation, and she makes a huge impact on advancing global healthcare practices. Please welcome June. Okay, and the final speaker for the affirmative team is Artur Nowak. And Artur is actually the co-founder of Evidence Prime. So on each side, we've actually got people who are who actually work with the technology and develop the technology as well. So I'm really pleased to have Artur here with us. So he's a co-founder of Evidence Prime, and Evidence Prime is a company dedicated to enhancing clinical decision-making in healthcare through access to current evidence and systematic handling of uncertainty. So Artur has always been intrigued by how computers can speed up research, which has led him to actually develop and focus on natural language processing and information retrieval. He is a software engineer by training, and he has spent over 16 years in the industry in various roles. And today he splits his time between leading the AI team and also shaping the product strategy at Evidence Prime. And Artur does have a conflict of interest to declare, but he is employed and is a shareholder of Evidence Prime. And please welcome Artur.
All right, and I have the pleasure of introducing the opposing team. And first we have Ina, then we have Valentin, and then we have Hemant. So let me now read, because these are also long stories of glory. All right, so Ina, you are the director of the Association of the Scientific Medical Societies Institute for Medical Knowledge Management in Germany at the Philipps University, Marburg, which coordinates and supports guideline development of the 182 societies. That's a lot. Ina is also the vice chair of AVF's Standing Commission for Clinical Practice Guidelines, and she represents AVFM on many committees and groups. She trained in general surgery and internal medicine, received her MD and her professorship from the University of Marburg. She's currently a GIN trustee, and she's a former GIN chair. So we have two former GIN chairs and current members of the GIN board going head to head. I hope it won't be too awkward. Good. Please give a hand. Please give a hand to me. Great. Next we have Val. Professor Valentin is a professor at the College of Rehabilitation Sciences of the University of Santo Tomas, where he also serves as the research director of the Center for Health Research and Movement Science, which is a JBI-affiliated group. In addition, he's the CEO of Pain-Free Management and Consulting and the Pain-Free Foundation. He has an incredible list of awards and accolades and is an active member of various professional organizations, including the Philippine Physical Therapy Association, the National Research Council of the Philippines, University of Santo Tomas, College of Rehabilitation Sciences, Alumni Association, Philippine Association of Researchers, JBI of the University of Adelaide. Despite all of these tasks, he's still learning and growing and is currently pursuing an MS in Clinical Epidemiology at Department of Clinical Epidemiology of the College of Medicine in the University of the Philippines in Manila. Let's hear it. Thank you. And finally, not least, we have Hemant. And Hemant is a distinguished expert in evidence synthesis with over 10 years of experience in health economics and outcomes research. Hemant's expertise spans systematic literature reviews, health economic modeling, and health technology assessments, and he's at the cutting edge of innovation in these fields. As the co-founder and CEO of ECSLR, Hemant has been revolutionizing SLRs through innovative AI-powered solutions that streamline the evidence synthesis processes, making it faster and more impactful. He's also the co-founder and CEO of Skyward Analytics, a consulting firm specializing in health economics and outcome research. He has invented substantial time and intellectual energy on the use of AI in evidence synthesis, and we look forward to hearing from him today. And there are some conflicts on the next page here. So there are some conflicts of interest, as he has two firms, the Skyward Analytics and the ECSLR, and they provide consulting and software subscription services, respectively, to pharmaceutical and medical device companies, academic institutions, and consulting firms globally. His firm, ECSLR, is an AI-powered platform for literature reviews, although today he's presenting the case of why AI should not replace humans in evidence synthesis. So please.
Okay, now before we get into it, we need to go through the rules because I've already heard some comments from each team that they aren't likely to stick to the rules, so that's going to be our job, Britta, to make sure they do follow. So
we'll pull them off the stage, don't worry.
So 7 minutes, each speaker gets 7 minutes, and we'll have one speaker from the affirmative team, followed by a speaker from the opposition team, and that's how we'll flow through, and we'll see some rebuttals from each team. And then we are going to actually vote on the winner. So in the app, where you've been asking questions during the plenary session, there will be a poll. I really hope it works. There will be a poll where you can vote on the winner at the end, and there may even be a prize for the winner. Perhaps there are some bags up here, so a bit of motivation, extra motivation. No interruptions, no catcalling. Sorry, no. So let's keep it civil. Let the debate begin. And first up, we have Amir. Welcome, Amir. Cheers.
Good afternoon, everyone. And before I start, you guys sure you wanna concede? You have an opportunity before we even start. I feel bad for them. I really do, because I'll tell you, I have no doubt. We will make some very convincing argument, guys. And before I start, Zach, thanks for the kind introduction. I really appreciate it, and to the two of you for inviting me. So we are all evidence synthesis people in the room. I want to get the key question right, because that's how we start our work, right? Any guideline, guidance, whatever we're going to work on, we get the key questions right. I want to rephrase, because I was looking at the app. This debate is not about guidelines. This debate is about, does AI has a potential? I'm not changing anything. Check the app. App says, does AI has potential to basically replace humans, right? And you know, evidence synthesis has many, many steps, and that's what we're going to talk about today, that AI can do many things today, and it will be able to do many of the other things in the near future as well, because my colleagues over here, which are really near and dear to me, and I respect them, they're going to muddy the water, the typical debates. They're not going to answer the key questions. They're going to go all over the place. They're not going to talk about what we're supposed to debate about. So keep an eye on this issue. Artificial intelligence, I'm setting some ground rules over here. It's a very, very broad term, as you guys are very well aware of. Lots goes into it: autonomous system, machine learning, deep learning. And again, we don't have to debate on what goes in. That's all being debated in the literature out there. But keeping in mind, what are AI algorithms, right? So AI algorithms are basically a set of instructions or rules to help machines learn, analyze, and make decisions. We all know that. But where are they coming from? First step is humans are starting those algorithms. So something to keep it in mind, and helping machines to recognize the patterns and all that goes into it. Let me start out with some challenges, and I want my esteemed colleagues to tell me how to resolve these problems that I deal with, that I live and breathe. And none of you will be able to say that's not the case. This is what we need, and I just picked some 5 random ones. The list is long. Volume of scientific literature, this is you guys already know that. Number of randomized controlled trials that are going up, number of journals that are getting added on. It's humongous. It's not easy to keep up with it. Staff of highly trained individuals. Can I just say, each and every one of you is a superstar. I think sometimes we forget that. You all are saving lives. You all are making a difference. You come up with telling the world how to manage the disease, how to treat our patients. You are saving lives, guys, not only your friends and families, but rest. The impact of the work that you have is humongous. So you're superstars, but there are not that many of you out there. A lot of you are here. There are few that are out there. Any of us who have been hiring in this arena, it's difficult to find the highly skilled personnel. Keep that in mind. So limited number of people, more courses. So unless you guys like staying up late at night, I was talking to a colleague of mine, I got a text about it, make sure to mention, and it's true. So unless you like being stressed, staying up late at night, dreading those deadlines, then it's one thing, some of you voted it. But if you are not convinced about it, let's talk about what are the alternatives. Complexity of science and math is just the statistical methods. You know how much they have advanced. Come to the grade meeting on Saturday. There's so many great guidance now there. And it's not bad, by the way. It's good. I'm supportive of it. This has helped us make guidelines better. But it is a complex task. Turnaround time, the world that I live in, questions get asked, patients, physicians, you name it, like, here are the medications for new medications for dementia, or here's the greatest medication for obesity. What do I think? I get excited, right? Like any of you. I say, oh my God, this we need to look into, but guess what? I'm going to come up with an answer in 3 years from now. I will be back and get the answer. But that is not how clinical medicine. Would you like to go see a doctor who tells you come back in 3 years' time? You want to know, get the answer there and then, and that's how medicine works, right? You can't just say, we'll find out. Dollars, again, you're very well aware of. The costs are going up. I am having a hard time convincing people that why are the evidence reviews so high? So if you live in this world that my colleagues perhaps do, that funders are gonna select projects with larger budgets and teams, sure, go with human-only teams. If you believe that you're struggling with dollars and all the issues I brought up, we have to look for alternate solutions. I'm not going to go too much deep over here. Just starting out with, there's so many steps, as I said, just screening, data abstraction and all. Human error rate still exists, guys. Humans are not free of errors. AI reprioritization, 95% relevant records after human reviewers only got 25. And yes, LLM, we can get into that debate. It is improving really quick. So my request to you, those of you perhaps did not agree, because this is how I started out as well. Set up a human team, start with search strategy, start out small, but also give AI a chance. But build trust, be transparent how you're approaching all this. And honestly, innovation naysayers have been there forever. I was looking at it, and you know that, and I'm more questioning these guys. You guys I respect. Cycle, when it first started, people said no one is going to use. 1902, New York Times said cars, no one is going to use cars. This is not the mode of transportation. Stick to horses. Answering machines were banned in the US, guys. Computer, it had a rough start. They questioned the battery life, which I still do, by the way. Facial recognition, the doors open up in Philadelphia airport when I enter. There is no person over there. They don't even look at my passport anymore. The doors open up to enter the United States just on facial recognition. This, I have a story. You guys are going to say this is not technological innovation, because I was challenged about the burgers the other night. I was out for a nice dinner, Old City, beautiful. I'm coming. This is a personal story.
Thank you.
Can I just tell the story or no story?
Thank you, Amir. That was wonderful. And now, please, the lovely, lovely Ina.
Okay. After my debate, you might decide that I'm one of these dinosaurs just hindering innovation, or you might come to a conclusion that, maybe we should take some time to think and do what we can do best, doing some research, find out, come to an evidence base around it, and maybe to a solution how to integrate AI solutions instead of replacing humans completely. So these are my conflicts of interest, and I must declare one of them is together working with Artur, actually, on digitalizing the AWMF guideline register. So that might be of interest for you. And when I think about what Amir says and with regard to innovation, you can have two different perspectives. It's hard for an AI solution actually to take different perspectives, but we humans can. And so I would like to show you, you can either stand on this beautiful mountain, see the perfect, brilliant, clear sky, see the difference of the mountain and also the white snow on it. So that is a clear decision. Or you can stand in front of this avalanche coming here. And I sometimes feel standing in front of this avalanche. And why is that? Is AI a wealth of opportunities? Or is it another flood of publications to be handled? And actually, I can tell you every week, at least 2 emails from startups, from universities pop into my mailbox saying, I have invented Guideline GPT. Oh, really? Did you? So the question always is, how do we validate these, or how can the poor systematic reviewer identify which of these solutions are really trustworthy, valid? Yesterday we heard from James Thomas that the doctor should know how to use an algorithm and which algorithm is transparent and trustworthy. And how can a doctor know? So I went into the databases and tried to find out if there's any publications, systematic reviews, telling me something about benefits and harm. So this very scarce evidence, and that's really amazing, given all the publications on AI models out there. So, and if they assess benefits and harms, it always comes down to efficacy and accuracy. But what about the other outcomes of interest? If we look into papers around ethical frameworks, you will find out there's a lot more. What is the impact actually on human thinking? Remember when navigation systems were invented in cars? Some people ended up in rivers because they stopped thinking because the AI would guide them and tell them to turn right. So this happened all the time. And the other impact could be, maybe if we have the tools to produce systematic reviews more efficient and faster and easier, the people will use these tools. And we as guideline developers will be confronted with an avalanche of systematic reviews, sometimes with conflicting results. So what to do with that? So it would just postpone our heavy work that we have to do when we develop guidelines. And then the other question is actually, who would give us the rules or the indicators on which AI solutions are trustworthy? Should we leave that to the legislators? Yesterday it was said we need a legal framework. The only legal framework I'm aware of is that of the European Union. There's some good ideas and reasoning behind that, but on the other hand, this could hinder innovation also. And then I thought, we're coming from the evidence-based medicine world, don't we? And we always have thought, when it comes to decision-making, even if we decide about what outcomes to set and what are the comparators for creating a search strategy, there's not only analytical thinking in it, there's also reasoning in it. And yesterday, remember, we learned how AI models think. How do machines think? Generative AI basically provides a statistical representation of language in contrast to human reasoning. And that's something very important. So I'm really convinced that we could use AI models to questions that can be based on rule-based calculation where the answer is yes or no. And that's all the kind of checklists and all the kind of creating and systematic review strategies that we've just heard of in Amir's presentation. But on the other hand, what we humans can do is complex thinking and reasoning, making evidence and value-based judges, taking different perspectives, also when we take into account the equity problems that we have, the knowledge that AI solutions do hallucinate and they do have a racist bias. So also we can recognize the unconditional value of patients as persons. This judgment an AI would not make. And we can deal with different and conflicting results. So that's all why we need actually the human oversight on what is done with AI solutions. Otherwise, look at that picture up there. You will lose your human face in a GIN conference. You can all give it to AI solutions and talk with your digital avatar, or bring your digital avatar to the conference. Maybe this is some interesting idea. So basically, AI does show varying success in evidence synthesis. This is what we know from systematic reviews. Human validation still appears required. A discussion of outcomes has a strong focus on efficiency, accuracy. Ethical frameworks and principles for AI development cast, of course, for that is fair, appropriate, valid, effective, and safe, as well as transparent, explainable. We hear this all the time, but legal frameworks are lacking. And a core set of outcomes to assess potential benefit and harm is completely lacking. Imagine other impacts, not only on human reasoning and a flood of new systematic reviews. What about environmental questions? Do you know how much energy you need if you ask just one picker question, or if you just ask GPT, what is the weather tomorrow? So it's almost charging a telephone. We take that into account when we talk about planetary health. So I suggest a research framework for trustworthy AI in a trustworthy evidence ecosystem. And why don't we use the methods that we are used to use? So if AI inclusion into our thinking and into our systematic review production, this is a complex intervention. So we'll have a model that comes from theory to modeling to extrapolatory trials to definitive randomized control trials, assessing outcomes of relevance, and then we need a continuous monitoring of the impact in real world. So that's my proposal for today. And if you go on voting in the end, just think twice, am I the dinosaur, or maybe there's something in it that we as methodologists really should head for. Thank you.
Well done. Wonderful. Thank you, Ina. And we've 6 seconds to spare as well. So that's how you do it, Amir. Next up we have June. June?
Does my time start now? Hi. Thank you, Ina, for this interesting point. But I think you may have forgotten to consider the broader context, and those have a vital impact on the conclusion. So I am June, and what you're seeing on the board is Robert Goddard. Robert Goddard is a rocket scientist. So I want you to leave AI aside and to step back and to think about space travel. In the early 20th century, Robert Goddard's pioneering work in rocket research was dismissed because people can't understand the basic physics behind it. Experts, including the New York Times, ridiculed his idea that rocket can work in space. And yet, in 1969, humanity landed on the moon. So we then realized technological breakthroughs quickly follow after the conceptual limitations around our thoughts are surpassed. So similarly, we are at a point in evidence synthesis where human limitations are holding us back in progress. So AI is the technological breakthrough that can propel us forward. And I want you to bear Robert in mind. Let's talk about ethics. Ina touched upon ethics. So as researchers, we have a moral and ethical obligation to deliver the best evidence in the shortest possible time frame. For every single day that we prolong the process of evidence synthesis, we are potentially withholding life-saving information from users. And how is that ethical? And therefore, replacing human with AI is not just about efficiency, it's also about fulfilling our ethical responsibilities. There are 80 reviews published every day, and that's roughly 30,000 reviews per year that's published. 25% of those are out of date within 2 years, and those reviews contain inconsistent conclusions that's inconsistent with the new medical knowledge. And by not utilizing AI and allowing the slow, old evidence in circulation, that poses an ethical risk. Reviews are expensive, as Amir pointed out. It can cost anywhere upwards of $100,000 to $500 to a review per PICO. And think about let alone the trained expertise that's required, the team effort that's required. If we at the developed countries, the resource-rich settings struggle with this, think about the situation in resource-limited settings, and failing to leverage the advantages of AI in this situation is basically denying access to high-quality evidence in these settings, and that is an ethical concern. I know we heard a lot about the worries, the troubles with AI, using AI in the last couple of days. There's a lot of discussions about it, but let's ask us the question, is that an AI problem, or is that a problem that we collectively all face? Human reviewers make errors just like AI. We probably make more errors than them. Research shows you put a dozen highly trained, experienced reviewers to use Robbins I and Robbins E, what do you find? The overall bias assessment showed poor agreement for Robbins I and only slight agreement for Robbins E. So, and if this is the best of the top 1% highly trained reviewers. Think about the chips and the potato, the Instagram and reality. There are 30,000 reviews produced annually. There will be a lot more less trained reviewers out there conducting systematic reviews. Are they better than AI? I'm not sure. And think about expertise gaps as well. How many of us had to conduct review without a full team of support, without access to information specialists? And these highly trained experts improves accuracy, and AI, on the other hand, can operate without these gaps. And if you train AI, they have another advantage. Human decisions are made in a black box. I don't know how you made that risk bias assessment, but perhaps I can trace how AI made its decisions. So once we trace it back, we can fix it. Once you train the AI properly, it will consistently give you that correct answer. I don't know if the same can be said about human reviewers. And my final argument is about the changing evidence ecosystem. And this is the broader context I'm talking about, and I think that my opponent failed to consider, that we're in this fast-changing world. The landscape of research and evidence collection, data generation has changed dramatically over the years. So with digitization of medical records, the development of large clinical data sets, and growing use of electronic health records, the structure of data that we're analyzing now is increasingly suitable for AI processing. And the reporting standards also are becoming more regulated, so AI is more able to abstract and synthesize the information with greater accuracy. And with better PDF and text mining technologies, advanced technological advances on the computer science front, I think it's just a matter of time that AI will become very effective in synthesizing evidence. So the evolving ecosystem is tailor-made for AI to thrive and deliver precise and meaningful evidence synthesis. And in summary, relying solely on human reviewer is not only unsustainable practically, but ethically there's a challenge. AI has the ability to process data faster, identify research gaps, and ensuring evidence synthesis is continuously updated and keeping the evidence alive. It addresses the limitations that human expertise cannot fulfill. And the trajectory of the scientific and technological progresses challenge us to rethink the entrenched way of thinking. And I want to point out to you that this is the first computer that sent Apollo to the moon, and that is a key fob in your pocket. There's more technology in your pocket nowadays than the computer that sent humanity to the moon. So just as Robert Goddard's vision propelled humanity to the space, it is now time for AI to revolutionize evidence synthesis. And I want to remind you the argument today is that AI should and it has the potential to replace human reviewers. Thank you.
Thank you. Val, please take the stage.
How to do this? Escape. All right. Good afternoon. There are three things that AI doesn't have and human beings have. Those are the mind, the body, and the spirit. The mind goes into deeper critical thinking, can reason out, and can weigh conflicting pieces of evidence. The body senses for things that it likes and it dislikes. And of course, the spirit quests for what is right, what is just, what is safe, and what is ethical. The interplay of these things are not present in AI. Thereby, our group believes that AI can never fully replace humans in evidence synthesis. Good afternoon, dear participants. Did you know that as of September 10, 2024, there are approximately
536,844 COVID-19 related publications in the Web of Science core collection. It's a staggering amount. There is an infodemic. Enter artificial intelligence. It's a powerful tool proposed to enhance efficiency and manage this overwhelming data. Yet, despite AI's impressive capabilities, it cannot fully replace human oversight. Critical evaluation, contextual understanding are crucial to systematic reviews, qualities that AI tools will struggle to replicate. Without transparency in AI-assisted screening, the quality of systematic reviews will always be compromised. A human oversight is very important. We emphasize the importance of human involvement in reviews that deals with culture, community contexts. There's that interplay of mind, body, and spirit. Evidence synthesis is not just simply writing, it's writing for people, and people are not AIs. Systematic reviews are monumental undertakings requiring over 1,000 hours of expert manual work that involves deep critical thinking, complex decision-making, and nuanced judgment, skills that AI cannot and never replicate. The process demands more than just data handling. It requires nuanced judgment, which involves understanding diverse contexts, weighing multiple perspectives, and recognizing subtle distinctions that AI cannot do. In 2023, over 10,000 research papers were retracted, a record high, raising alarm over the impact of AI on academic integrity. The rise of AI in research brings significant risks, including the production of high-quality yet fraudulent articles, insufficient peer review, and the facilitation of unethical practices like paper mills that generate low-quality studies. They are not just low quality, but fraudulent. It opens the Pandora's box that we should be careful of. And humans are actually standing there to stop that invasion. Yesterday, we had a workshop titled Systematic Review Meets AI, a modern review technique. We've got 150 participants. Guess what? 61% of the respondents believe that the best approach to reviewing systematic review papers for publication combines AI and human appraisal. This overwhelming preference underscores a critical point. AI alone is not enough. Despite the impressive capabilities of AI in processing large volume of data quickly and efficiently, there is a clear consensus that human oversight remains indispensable. Only 4% of the respondents were willing to rely solely on AI, again highlighting the widespread concern that AI cannot fully replicate the nuanced judgment, critical evaluation, and ethical discernment that human experts bring to the table. AI cannot replace that. These results support the proposition that AI should not completely replace humans in systematic review writing. Instead, we propose AI and human collaboration represent the future of research integrity, where technology amplifies human skill without compromising the ethics, rigor, and quality that only human can do. The ideal scenario is not about choosing one over the other, but leveraging the strengths of both to achieve the best outcomes in research and publication. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Val. And our final speaker for the affirmative team and to provide a rebuttal, Artur.
Yeah, so hello everybody. I need to provide additional context that was actually that is actually missing. It's not me debating, but AI, and I am just the operator. That's the twist that we have in this debate. I don't know if you remember this important episode in the history of AI, Deep Blue beating Garry Kasparov at chess. Do you remember the guy who moved pieces for Deep Blue? Neither do I, but I'm this guy today, so the unsung hero. So,
This down.
I guess I can. Is the timer already running? Okay. So, let the AI speak then.
In addition to the points my team has raised, I would like to emphasize a few more key arguments to strengthen the case that AI has the potential to fully replace humans in evidence synthesis. 1. Objectivity and consistency. One of the major advantages of AI in evidence synthesis is the ability to remove human biases. Human reviewers can inadvertently introduce subjectivity when interpreting and selecting evidence, which can affect the consistency of the conclusions. AI, on the other hand, follows standardized algorithms and protocols, ensuring that the same set of rules is applied uniformly across all studies. This minimizes variability between reviewers and increases the reliability of results. 2. Complex pattern recognition. AI systems, particularly those based on machine learning and deep learning, are capable of detecting complex patterns across diverse data sets, which might be missed by human reviewers. AI can identify trends, relationships, and subtle correlations in vast amounts of data that would be impossible for humans to discern within reasonable timeframes. 3. Natural language processing, NLP advancements. Recent advancements in natural language processing have made AI better at understanding and synthesizing medical literature. AI can now interpret context, comprehend nuances, and summarize findings with increasing accuracy, bringing its performance closer to human expertise in understanding research papers and clinical guidelines. 4. Continuous learning and improvement. AI systems have the capacity to learn from new data continuously. As AI processes more and more evidence, it can improve its performance, refine its algorithms, and stay up to date with the latest medical knowledge. In contrast, human reviewers require continuous education and training, and even the most experienced experts have limits to how quickly they can adapt to the evolving scientific landscape. 5. Collaborative AI-human models as a transition. While it may take time for AI to fully replace humans, hybrid models where AI assists human reviewers can serve as a practical and ethical transition. In such models, AI can handle the heavy lifting of data processing, screening, and extraction, while human reviewers focus on complex decision-making and validation. This collaboration can enhance both speed and accuracy, gradually reducing the human workload over time. 6. Overcoming limitations of human resources. Currently, there is a significant shortage of skilled personnel to conduct systematic reviews, especially in low-resource settings. AI can help bridge this gap by providing the necessary expertise where human resources are lacking, ensuring more equitable access to high-quality evidence synthesis around the world. In conclusion, while we acknowledge that AI may not be fully autonomous today, its rapid advancements, scalability, and potential to reduce human error make it a formidable tool. Over time, AI will likely outpace human capabilities in many aspects of evidence synthesis. Ignoring this potential would mean delaying significant improvements in healthcare, patient outcomes, and global equity in medical research. Therefore, it is essential to embrace the inevitable role AI will play in this field.
I couldn't put it better. As you know, and so, as you know, and witnessed just now, AI tends to be very verbose. So I also I made notes from our adversaries' points, and I asked AI to rebut some of them, but I will need to summarize this, so it will be, as we said, human-AI tandem. So, first, in terms of AI as hype and lack of peer-reviewed evidence, it's true that current AI models are in development, but scientific progress is exponential, and we see this with the number of published research papers. We think that the ethics and human thinking arguments is something that my colleague June already addressed. And in terms of the science-based stage approach to actually implementing AI and we cannot agree more. I think that this is really the point where we meet with the other team, that's the great proposal to implement. In terms of human critical thinking, so AI says that while human minds have creativity, AI complements this with analytical thinking. So repetitive, data-heavy tasks that can be defined well as algorithms are really where the machines excel. Just look at a calculator. Then in terms of interplay of mind, body, and spirit, systematic reviews at their core are analytical tasks that don't require emotional or spiritual input. This is what AI thinks. And the community and emotional context can be separate while AI focuses on evidence evaluation. And finally, the examples regarding scientific integrity and how AI is some sort of a snake that hisses and tries to convince people to submit, let's say, fake papers. So I don't know if this is really an argument against AI or against humans, but AI says that examples of AI misuse demonstrate human susceptibility to error and bias. So it highlights that humans, not AI, compromise integrity. With proper safeguards and human oversight, AI can improve, not undermine scientific standards. So my case is closed here, and
Hi, good afternoon everyone. I'm Hemant. I'm co-founder and CEO of EasySLR. And as Britta already mentioned, I have a conflict of interest, but I run an AI platform for literature reviews, but I'll try not to hold back in my punches today. All right. So let's look at, first of all, how the evolution of GPT, and this is not from me, this is coming directly from the CTO of OpenAI, Rathi. So GPT-3, it was like a toddler of AI, prone to nonsensical babbling, but with occasional flashes of brilliance. GPT-4 is the smart high schooler. It can solve complex problems, write essays, but not everything else. GPT-5, which is expected to be rolled out next year, they are saying we're likely to have PhD level intelligence and might make humans obsolete at certain tasks. GPT-6 will have probably the intelligence of someone who decide not to get a PhD. So yeah, all the PhD students, I met quite a few of you over the last 2 days, but that's not from me, that's from Dr. Daniel Litt. All right, but coming back on a more serious note about the GPT-5 and the claim that it might make humans obsolete, at certain tasks. So I'll probably just go back and look at, what we call the S-curve of innovation. So on the x-axis we have the R&D effort, and you can say the time, and on the y-axis we have the performance of innovation, and as the effort goes, we improve in quality, the cost goes down, and so on. But few things to note here. First of all, there is always going to be a technological limit to which, so AI will never be 100%, neither are humans, understand. But what is that technological limit, and is it acceptable to us? That's something to be laid out. Then I would just argue that machine learning in some form or the other has been in use for quite some time. So what I might call the ferment stage. And it's only in the last couple of years, I think ChatGPT launched around December 1.5 years, 2 years back, and which kind of captured the public imagination. And once the GPTs came through, you can say it is the takeoff stage of the machine learning, of AI in evidence synthesis. But what I feel we are underestimating here is the maturity phase. How long it takes for a technology to be matured. And the parallel I'll draw is from the driverless cars. We have been hearing about driverless cars for like ages now. And if I take example of Google, they first initiated the Waymo project back in 2009, which was like 15 years back. The first prototype that was ready by 2014, it's 10 years back, and it's 10 years now that they have launched right now in 4 cities, and it takes a long time for the technology to mature and, you know, be ready to use for the general public. And even now in 4 cities, I think it will take some time to, you know, expand to rest of US, and then even more time to expand to rest of the world. And particularly, you know, there are many countries that have different signboards, different laws, left-hand drive, right-hand drive. And so it will take a long time for the driverless cars to become a reality. So why human researchers are irreplaceable, you know? So AI is great, it's very accurate, you have lost 79, but it's missing the context, you know, and so the first is obviously the context in which, you know, AI is very fast at processing and everything, but does it truly understand, you know, in what context it is? As argue humans are less biased, AI will be biased based on the training data. Judging sources, you have to a lot of time take calls, you know, which studies to include in meta-analysis, which not to include, how much weightage to give it to each of the studies. Complex thinkings, again, and creativity and innovation. So a lot of the times, you know, you would say you learn something while working in the disease area of pancreatic cancer, and next time you're working on breast cancer, you are able to draw certain learnings from this project into the another one. So which I feel would be missing with AI. So just there's some time, and I'll probably just provide some arguments for my fellow presenters. So I think one of the arguments was mentioned was, you know, the volume of scientific literature is growing and we need AI. I argue, and as my co-presenter also argued, you know, with AI, I think this will even go further exponentially, you know, and will lead to a lot of redacted papers and other things. And the other argument I'll make is, so AI, you know, processes it, AI writes it, and where are the humans, where is their intelligence going, how are they going to evolve? The other argument team made was, it's not ethical to delay the treatments and you need to fasten, but it's also not ethical to base decisions on a technology which is not quite there yet. And finally, I think I will agree with my opposing team, like I think Dr. Jun mentioned, it's a matter of time, and in the autoplay which Dr. Artur used, it said it may not be fully autonomous. So yeah, I do agree, it's not fully autonomous yet, and it's a matter of time. But today, if the debate is today, should AI replace? I think the answer is no. But yeah, we do see use of AI, and in evidence synthesis, it can help. The computers did not replace librarian, it made them more efficient, so might AI. And overall, it may help the humans to expedite the reviews and improve quality, but it's not going to replace anytime soon. Thank you, everyone.
Wonderful. Okay. Now we've decided we're going to give the opening speakers a 1-minute right of reply. So Amir, you have 1 minute. You can either tell the burger story, which a lot of people want, or you can rebut the arguments. But 1 minute.
Hi. Burger story is for the boat ride, guys. So, the one thing, I personally think these guys already conceded, because you heard, that's why I said it's about the potential. And you heard them. I'm not going to repeat that argument. You be judged when you guys vote. Assumption is that we have AI that works. Just like my assumption is that I have a systematic review who knows what they're doing. I'm not going to get a random person to do the systematic review. Let's compare apples to apples over here. And using my mind, body, and senses, I cannot withhold a treatment that works for my patient or that may be harmful just because you guys can't get the review done. You guys use the word believe. You are scientists and social scientists. I will let you be the judge that what is where does believe sing? It was used numerous times by the speaker. They said, we believe. Talk about science, because I have a feeling they have never even used AI. We have. We're doing it. And please, my request to you all is give AI a chance. Oh, and Vivian, Vivian Welch is in the audience. She will give chocolates to those who vote yes.
Okay, thank you, Amir. Thank you. Okay, all right. Over to you, Ina.
Thank you, Mr. Trump. So I just want to, we just double checked, none of us has used the word believe here. At least we do not remember. Okay, but I think if we talk about potentials, we are all on the same plate. You have seen that all going through. So yes, a potential, but a potential means it's very early in the stages of clinical trials. So what we really need is to have that research framework to go to trustworthy AI products in trustworthy evidence ecosystem. So that is our damned task, that we really think about what are the outcomes, what are the potential impacts on the harm side, on the benefit side, so that we have a continuous research program and in the end can give something at hand to the systematic reviewers who want to apply some of these applications that are outside to say, okay, I can trust this one, but I better reject the other.
Thank you, Ina. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, wonderful. What a fantastic debate. Please, once again, thank all of our speakers in this wonderful debate. Okay, so now, well, Britta, do you have anything you wanted to share? Any thoughts?
I think it's time to vote.
It's time to vote.
Open your apps.
Okay, so in your apps, you should be able to vote. I really hope the technology doesn't let us down. It would be quite ironic. I can't open the slides right now. So. All right, so you should be able to vote. Everyone looks like they're voting. Amir, you can only vote once. Okay. It should be in live polling. So if you go to the debate session, and then there should be a live polling option.
It's the top right box of the 5 orange boxes.
All right. Well, do we need to announce a winner? I feel like we're all winners after that debate. And winning really isn't important anyway. It's just about the chance to learn new things. So maybe, do we need to announce the winners or? Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. This is the results. What have we got? We've got the... Oh, it's live. It's still changing. We have the opposing team have won it. Congratulations. Woo-hoo! Okay, fantastic.